Before you begin researching a cultural artifact, take a moment and study it visually. Give yourself some time to get to know it. Train your eye to see slight variations in the patterns. And the first thing I see, of course, is this branch that is bamboo. And then I see all the squiggles, the columns of squiggles on the left. And I assume that is some sort of language. I see the red squares. I see this additional rectangle, this very long strip that's stuck up on the right side of this image. And it's got some writing on it as well. This is a 14th century Chinese scroll by Wu Shen. It was painted with ink on silk, and it would have been unrolled and hung and viewed for a short time and then rolled back up and put away. Now let's look at it according to the theme of this module, which is image and word. And consider the relationship between image and word. For the image, I'm talking about the stalk of bamboo. And for the word, I'm talking specifically about those columns of Chinese characters. The first thing I notice is that the bamboo stalk is curved. And because all of the leaves of the bamboo appear to be pointing in a similar direction toward my right as I look at it, I'm thinking that maybe the wind's blowing, and that's what's causing the stalk to bend and the leaves to point in the same direction. That is contrasted, though, with those strong vertical columns of text. They're not curved, they're very straight. So they form a contrast to the stalk of bamboo. And that's pleasant. It's visually pleasing to observe. The next thing I'll notice is that both the bamboo and the letters, the characters, are scriggly black lines. It looks like the same hand created both of them, the letters, the characters, and the bamboo. You can see how it looks to me like the same brush might have been used. Maybe a thicker brush to do the leaves on the bamboo, but very similar in the way the artist created the letters or the characters and the way the artist created the branches and the leaves of the bamboo. I noticed that the bamboo runs off the edge of the picture plane. See how it looks like it's cut off, or it looks like it's cut off. It goes outside the viewer's frame, like it might continue on if we were able to step inside this world. We could look and see that the bamboo is maybe part of a big forest of bamboo. Whereas the characters on the opposite side of the bamboo all remain inside the picture plane. The characters are treated differently than the natural object across from them. To me, it feels like the characters are possibly applied to a layer, maybe to the glass on the window. And then beyond that, we see the bamboo possibly blowing in the breeze. So I feel like the artist has created a sense of space, of depth, by letting that bamboo blow off the edge of the paper even though it's just a two-dimensional surface. When you think about it, the artist had to make a lot of decisions, such as how much negative space should I leave at the top of the image, and how much should I leave at the bottom. And this is an example of nothing being something. Even though there's nothing in that space, it takes on the feeling of a void, of energy, of space. And it resists the image and text beside it. And also, how much room should the characters consume of this picture plane? Right now it looks like Wu Jin only used about a third of the vertical space in which to place all of his characters. And we know that Chinese writing is done in columns, vertical columns, instead of horizontal bands, such as English writing would be. And then he chose to use more room of the composition vertically for the bamboo. I can see that Wu Jin has used what's known as the golden ratio, which is kind of a 5:3 ratio that is found in nature and is considered mathematically very harmonious to look at. Now, if we look at those red blocks, those are called chops, CHOPS, and most of the time they are the artist's signature, and they're usually carved out of stone, and then they're used like a stamp, and the artist would then stamp his art with this chop. And there's several of them here, and of course I don't read Chinese once again, so I don't know what they say. But I did some research, and I know that the text that he wrote is about bamboo blowing in the wind. And you might think, wow, why would someone go to all this trouble to write about bamboo? Well, the Chinese admire the bamboo because it is very strong, very resilient. It grows back quickly, and when it's blowing in the wind, it doesn't break. It's very strong, natural material. And so it's a symbol of strength and resilience for the Chinese. What questions would you ask yourself when you look at this image? I'm sure they'll be different than the ones I ask myself. And I'm sure that you see things that I don't see. And that's what makes this interesting.